Good morning, fellow wet shavers. Welcome to the Wet Shave Experience. I am your host, Brian. Happy Thursday. Today is day 4 of Tribute Week. It is also my 10th video. So if you watched me before, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If this is the first time you watch me, hopefully you enjoy what you see and subscribe below. Today's tribute shave goes out to a wet shaver out there who also is an artisan. This is my only tribute to an artisan as well as a person. So today's shave will be with 345 Soaps Rocky Mountain Tree Line. This is a bright citrus pine and wood scent. Not necessarily a fall scent, but one that I've recently acquired, so I thought I'd use it. I'm familiar with this soap. I had bought Shark Bite over the summer. It was one of my favorite summer scents. I tried Delirium last week, which the scent wasn't there for me, but the soap quality is. I will be using the matching splash as well. Real quick, the soap, I like how he puts the scent notes on the label. He also puts a side label on the tub, which is nice. It's just simple, straightforward, bright citrus pine. I don't find it overly piney or wood-like. It's a nice blend, kind of a soft, I don't want to say soft in terms of like scent strength, but just a nicely balanced scent on the soap. This is a value purchase, I believe, in my mind. It is a artisan soap, but it's $13.95 for 5.8 ounces. So I think it's like $2.40 an ounce. So you get a lot of soap, a lot of good soap. He uses some good ingredients in here. I'm gonna have my reading glasses on, but I mean, this has, it's a beef tallow soap. It has shea butter. It also has some other quality ingredients: grapeseed oil, cocoa butter, yogurt, lanolin, kokum butter, fragrance. So these are some high quality ingredients in here, and you're getting a really good value for your dollar on this soap. You'll get a lot of soap for a good price. The splash is also well priced. I think it's $14.95, and you know, that's a lot less. I don't see a volume on here in terms of whether you get 100 milliliters or 120 milliliters on the label here, but that's also a very good price. Now, John and I have had some communications over time. One of the reasons why I'm kind of giving him a shout out is because I feel like he supports the community in general, not just 345 Soap. One of the things that he was nice enough to do on point is he sent me a couple of samples, including a sample of a Soap Commander soap that was put out by the Rich Man Shaving Group called Family. I was on the fence on this soap. I wasn't going to buy it. He sent out, he put a shout out on Facebook on one of the groups. If anybody hadn't tried it, if they wanted a sample, he sent me a sample, which was much appreciated and led me to buy the soap. I had not tried a Soap Commander product before, but this is also a value purchase. It's $15 for 6 ounces. So the two of these soap companies, if you're budget minded and you're looking for a high quality soap that will work well, both of these brands are ones to look at. I'll also be using again the King C Gillette. You can see the cool etching on the front. I don't know if they're going to come out with more or what Gillette's going to do with all that whole line. There is some King C Jet blades. I used the 5 already that came with it at one point, I found the blades to be pretty decent. I went ahead and bowl lathered. I mean, I'm using my Heritage Collection Merit 99.5 in the cream and white. I already bowl lathered. You can see you got a really nice amount of soap there, soap in the bowl, more than enough I'll need for my shave today. Lathers up really well. It's a little bit of a harder soap. I think I might have mentioned this before, this is a gel-tipped Badger brush, which is great, super soft. I love, love, love this brush. One of the things I have found in bowl lathering is if I'm using a soap that's a little bit harder, I do find that it takes me a little bit longer to lather for the gel tips to really kind of break up some of that harder soap. If it's a softer soap like Milk Steak or some of these other, or PAA soap, which is also a softer soap that's spread more easily in the bottom of the bowl, then it works a lot better. So just something I've found. In hindsight, maybe as a bowl lather, I would have gone with the non-gel tip on the Badger brush. And I used my Badger this morning because, like I said, I'm familiar with this base. A lot of times, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll use a synthetic, or if it's the first time I've used a soap, I'll use a synthetic brush. I just find synthetic brushes are easier to predict in terms of lathering, especially if you're unfamiliar with the soap base. They don't take up as much water, as much soap into the actual brush itself, and it just makes for a little bit easier lathering. So I typically will use this once I'm more familiar with a soap base, just because I know how it performs, whether it takes a lot of water, not a lot of water, that kind of stuff. Let's get into the shave now. We'll throw on a little pre-shave, the Pro Rosso White Pre-Shave. I think this is the Sensitive Skin formula. I like to use this one with most stuff because it doesn't really have much of a scent to it. It's got a little bit of a sweet scent to it, but not much at all. So it doesn't impact or interfere with the scent of the soap that I'm using. Anyways, I really appreciated that John did that. I know he also has a day job. He is in law enforcement during the day and soap making at night, so I know it's a lot of work to do both, I'm sure. And I think he's got another drop coming up. I was going back and forth with him recently, and I think he's shooting for November 14th. Which is a week from Saturday, and I think it's called 1876 Prospector, and it's going to be a little bit different than some of his other soaps. It's I think a leather, bourbon, and I just looked this up. It'll come to me. Anyways, look for that coming up. Looks like it'll be a nice scent. If you're into leather and bourbon. I feel like a lot of things are coming out lately with a little bit of bourbon in it. I know, like the duo from Nate and Mel, which I just ordered yesterday. No, day before yesterday from Zingari. It's like bourbon, sandalwood, and oak, I think. Anyways, I feel like I've noticed a lot of bourbon lately in some scent notes, but I think people like it. Told myself I was going to remember those scent notes for 1876. I should have written them down. Guy had the world's worst short-term memory. I know it drives my wife nuts sometimes. She'll tell me something, 2 minutes later, I'll ask her the same question. A little bit right there. All right, let's go. This has second use PermaSharp blade in it. So it's still cutting just fine. I don't have particularly thick growth or dense growth. So my hairs are not particularly thick and my beard is not particularly dense. Especially on my sides and cheeks, it's really actually fairly light. I could not grow a beard, let me tell you that. I look like all scraggly. I probably have like 2 long hairs or something growing out. It's a pretty smooth razor, and for, like I said, the previous video. I got this at Walgreens for $29.99. Came with the 5, I think it came, did it come with the 5 blades or did I buy those separately? I think it came with 5 blades. So some residual slickness on the soap. Just a kind of a light scent on the soap, and then it's definitely not overpowering. I was a little worried about the pine being really strong in this, but it's not. You definitely get the citrus as well, but it's not too citrusy bright. Still, if you're a seasonal shaver and you rotate your den for the seasons, this probably wouldn't be a fall or winter scent for you. It's probably be more of a spring summer scent. It does have a lighter scent to it. I think the soap is still available on his website. He's not available. You have to go to the 345 website. I'll put a link below if you're interested in this soap. He's not in any other retailers at this point. I know Delirium sold out. And then he has another Fleet Street Pies, which is a barber shop slash, if the apple pie shop was next door and you're getting a whiff of it. And it might be up your alley. I don't like apple pie. I don't like cooked fruit, actually. So I will not eat any pie that has cooked fruit in it. I know, that might be crazy. It might be blasphemy for some of you, but I just don't like it. So I kind of steered away from that one, but it does sound interesting. I think that one's still available. And like I said, he has also a Tight Lines, which is a Creed Aventus dupe. And he's working on another one after and I just realized that I got a little bit chatty and started going against the grain before I went across the grain. Lost my place. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. All right, let's see if we can get back on track. Anyways, hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. I think a lot of us are on pins and needles. With, I think, what is it, 3 or 4 states now holding us kind of in suspense on the election results. I can't wait till it's over, guys and gals. Just because, regardless of which side of the fence you're on there, it'd just be nice to move forward. And at the end of the day, we're all going to wake up the next day. The country's still going to be here, whether you like the direction of it or not. That's another question, but the sky is not going to fall, Chicken Little. At least I don't think it is. I could be wrong. One thing I will notice, I think I mentioned this yesterday, if you look at this handle, I wish that the knurling went all the way down, because I do notice if I get if my hand gets a little wet or gets a little soap on it, it gets a little slick. And I definitely try to hold it up there, but I did notice that one thing. So if there was kind of a knock on the razor design, it'd be more on the handle. And I'm gonna dry my hand and the handle off actually. And that there was more knurling. And then I wish the knurling was a little, I don't know, maybe deeper or maybe it's just a pattern. So that would be my big knock on the razor. And if you look, you're like at the Merkur, it's a shorter handle, but you got knurling all the way down. And the same thing with the carve, the knurling goes all the way down. And I'm partial to my carve, so I might be biased, but I mean, it's really cool knurling. All right, let's get the final pass and get done. Anyways, like I was saying earlier, I think I said it, John seems to be a supporter of the wet shave community in general, and not just a 345 soap. As I said, he was kind enough to send me a sample of somebody else's soap and Soap Commander, and I quite enjoyed it, and I ended up buying it as a result. So, and I'm very happy with that purchase. So thank you, John. Keep up the soap making. These Badger brushes, I mean, it's a large bowl and it holds a lot of soap. I mean, if you look at the amount of soap this thing holds, I can make an ice cream cone out of that. So quite a bit of lather. And I mean, this actually soap makes a large amount of lather for the amount of soap I put in the bowl. I put in the same amount, I try to put in the same amount of soap in the bowl every time. And I gotta be pretty close. I don't exactly measure it, but I mean, I use this same spoon and I try to get the same amount, although it's not an exact science. But there's definitely soaps that are higher, and I've heard the terms high structure, low structure. I don't know if that means large amount of volume of lather or small amount of volume of lather, because I do notice that some soaps, in terms of volume of lather, produce more lather for the same amount of soap as others. So I guess if the, and I'll go back over here real quick. If high volume, low volume structure means lather volume, or structure means lather volume, then I would say that this is probably a higher volume, high structure soap. Is that right? I don't know. Regardless, I got a ton of lather. The amount of soap in there, and that's given the Badger brush, because the Badger brush sucks up a lot more water and soap and traps it within its bristles than, like, say, than a synthetic does. Some cleanup with the weird growing areas right here. On the neck. All right, we're done with that. Let's rinse off. I might try to get into some video editing and try to edit this part out. I don't think I get too sophisticated, but you never know. All right, let's get some of the splash on, give it a good shake. Always a good idea. The splash is quite a bit stronger in terms of scent strength than the soap, definitely. Nice feel to the splash though. A little bit of alcohol in there, but not too much burn. I do that to kind of try to get a whiff and dry my face a little bit. I definitely get a little bit more of the pine, I think, in the splash, and the splash scent strength. I mean, I would say the soap is probably 4-ish on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm gonna say that the splash is more like a 6 or 7. Definitely more pine in the splash than in the soap. And the citrus and wood are there too. So anyways, overall, pretty good. Pretty good on the scent. I'd say it's good for me. It's probably not in the top 5 in my den, to be honest, but overall I think it's good. So anyways, hope everybody has a good Thursday, and we'll see you later.